Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys formula and America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker and Scott Kirshner. Really do appreciate you spending part of your day with us here. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. Once again, 419-794-3030. Online, americasretirementheadquarters.com. Financial advisors seem very divided on whether to recommend annuities, even though they offer a steady stream of income in retirement. But why the reservations? We asked our annuity advocate, Cheryl Moore of Wincantel.com. Here's what she said.
I think the advisors are saying that managing their clients' investments is the most important thing that they do, just because that's the work that they do, and they perceive that the work they're doing is important. But if they do a better job of listening to their clients, they'd hear them say that they are worried about running out of money and that they need some type of guaranteed paycheck. That's why an annuity is so great and why it's so in demand right now. We just have a disconnect between people who need it and people who know what it is.
So let's talk about the A word here. Let's talk about annuities. I know they're not all created equal and they may not be right for everybody out there. Can you help clients wade through which kind they actually need?
Yeah, I know annuities can be a confusing topic, but really if you break it down, an annuity is a contract between the account owner and an insurance company in which you make either a lump sum or a series of payments, and in return you have some form of deferred or immediate type of income is how a lot of the contracts are put in place. And then what you have is you have what is called a fixed annuity, you have an index annuity, and then you have a variable annuity. So a lot of times I'll hear people come to the office and they'll say, well, I don't like annuities because of the fact that those are, really expensive. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not all financial products really kind of work the same. It's a matter of understanding what you have and then figuring out how you can apply it to your situation. The answer is yes, I do recommend certain types of annuities for clients, especially, for our clients that are transitioning into retirement time, because they do like to get some steady stream of income. Sure. They like to have a kind of a backup plan. And so if you kind of walk through them, what you first of all have is you have what is referred to as a fixed annuity. Sometimes can be a multi-year guaranteed annuity. With that type of contract, you don't have those high fees and expenses. Instead, you're getting paid a set amount of interest for a set amount of time. You could buy a 3-year fixed contract or a 5-year fixed contract. The insurance company is going to pay you a fixed amount of interest for the 3 years or a fixed amount of interest for 5 years. So I had a gentleman that I was recently came into the office, and he needed to get right at about 5% is what his income need was. Mm-hmm. Well, if he found a 5-year contract that, say, paid him a little over 5% interest, he could just look at having those interest payments sent to him, living off the interest, not touching his principal. Where the stock market, and I think the stock market can be a great place for a part of a portfolio also, but the reality is the stock market, you could make 5%, but you could lose 5%, just like many investors have done in 2022. The flip end of the scale is you could have what is called a variable annuity. So when I hear people talk about these are the expensive types of contracts, these are typically what I would refer to as variable annuities. In general, I would say I'm not a big fan of variable annuities in most situations. So with a variable annuity, as the word implies, it means it can go up and down with the stock and bond market. Usually the rider that you're purchasing with it is a rider to provide some form of income for that person's lifetime. It could be, a joint rider. It could be for a set period of time. And then you have the fees and expenses of the insurance contract, the sub-account, the rider costs, and that's where some of these get to be somewhat expensive. Give you another perfect example. I met with a gentleman who's getting ready to retire next year. This gentleman is going to sell his business, and part of selling his business is he's going to get a series of payments for a set period of time to cover his income needs for a while. And so because of that, if we looked at his actual financial holdings and what he has, down the road when he's bought out from his business and he decides to turn on Social Security, he's probably not going to really need a lot of other income because he's got his income covered. Yet he's in one of these expensive contracts where he's paying all those fees and expenses for a benefit he may not need. In that situation, I believe that may not be in what his best interest is. Sure. Now, again, I'm not saying a decision was made, wrong 5 or 10 years ago when he got it. 5 or 10 years ago, maybe he didn't have that offer to buy out his business. He wanted to have some type of income in the future, and it could have made sense then, but it may not make sense now. The third type is the type that I use the most common, which are the indexed annuities. And what an index annuity is, it allows an investor to participate either in a percentage or into a cap maximum level of a gain of an underlying index. Yet in the event that the index goes down, they don't participate in those losses. So it kind of gives them a little bit of a safety of principle, but allows them to participate, when the market goes up. So it can be a good alternative for a safe investment that has more growth potential than some traditional fixed. And it also is a way to get kind of a plan B. So if you have some money in the safer accounts, the ones that aren't in the market, when you have the years where the stock market goes down, then you can pull income off of those accounts that didn't suffer market losses, allowing your market accounts to come back. So it does seem like the industry is very divided. I mean, there's people that will recommend you should have most or all of your money in annuities. There's people that would recommend that you should have none of your money in annuities. And it really comes down to looking at your situation and figuring out kind of what is the best approach based upon what your goals and objectives are, and becoming educated about how different contracts work. The worst thing you can do is make a quick decision about a product that you don't understand, and it can be very confusing. If somebody is selling you something that you're confused about, put the brakes on, make sure you take time to be educated about what it is, fully understand the pros and cons to anything that you do, because annuities certainly have pros and cons just like every other financial tool that's out there.
Nolan, in a previous life where I used to work, we had an insurance company that sold home and auto insurance, and they were offering a discount on your home and auto insurance if you purchased an annuity. And, it's amazing to me because in 1 year, I sold 32 of these annuities, and they were the index annuities, and they were just small amounts. You had to have a minimum of $2,000 in order to get the discount. So a lot of people said, well, you know what, I got $2,000 sitting here. It's doing nothing for me, lazy assets, not earning anything. Let me put that in there. And it's amazing to me now working with the team here at America's Retirement Headquarters and seeing how annuities can be utilized for that guaranteed income stream and how different they are and from what I was selling back then. So, I wrote a lot of annuities, but these annuities that you guys are putting in place for people are really, really awesome, and they generate that income stream that's a lot of people are looking for in addition to their Social Security. So that's my little tidbit for that.
It's certainly something I think worth taking a look at. Is it going to be right for everybody out there? No. Or are all annuities good? No. But could it be a valuable part of your retirement plan? Yeah, certainly. But I think it's worth having that conversation to see. You're going to want to have that Goldilocks approach, not, too much money in an investment like an annuity, not, no money, but find out what's going to be right for you in the end of the day. That again, you want to have that Goldilocks approach, and the team at America's Retirement Headquarters, they can weigh the pros and cons for you. To get started with it, just pick up the phone, give a call, have that conversation, see how it fits, if at all, into your retirement plan. 419-794-3030 or online at americasretirementheadquarters.com.